But today's topic of video is my first kind of take on a hot topic. Well, I did one before, which the link might be up here or here somewhere, where I touched on the VR chat drama that was going on. This time I'm going to be This time I'm going to be talking about a new one. This one affecting mostly wargamers and stuff like that. It's nothing huge. If you haven't seen it, go please make your own opinions. This is, of course, the Midwinter's hobby about historical wargaming and stuff. I'm going to say words. I don't care what YouTube does as long as they don't delete the channel. I don't care. This is a take on what was going on and personal thoughts. Throughout this whole video, whatever I say is not a take or a hate against anyone. So please do not take this as hate. This is just thoughts on the subject. Everybody involved is okay in my books. I do not care. I just wanted to throw my thought on it to see maybe if this is what people want to see on my channel. Thank you for listening to my PSA and my TED Talk. But anyways, going on about this, we had a thing with Midwinters where they were talking about wash myself from my sins. So what they were talking about is historical wargaming and why it might not be as popular as 40k. First looking at this video when I saw it popped up, my thoughts. Fun channel to watch and great painting skills. It's a couple doing a thing together that they love, which I'm full support for people doing things together, getting hobbies together, you know. I think they're even running a store now too, or they have attempted to run a store, which, yeah, they did. I think they are running a store. They're running a little hobby store in Europe somewhere. Great on them. We always need more stores. Stand up for your local guy, support your local dudes. But anyways, that's my thought history leading into this. So I've been a member of their channel for a while, watching their videos, seeing what they're doing, kind of like watching topics. And then one night, a couple of weeks ago, this video thumbnail pops up and catches my attention. It's for all purposes, the word Nazi is going to be replaced with spicy pinwheel. Historian channel uses that. Or the bad mustache man. Again, another word of his. So, disclaimer, that's word's going to be removed. Anyways, I don't support censorship, but we're going to do it. Anyways, so thumbnail says, no, but do I have to play the fascists? Do I have to play the fascist? And their video goes into talk about how I click as I see this thumbnail, like talking about, you know, 1940s fascistio Germanio in the 40s. What hot take is this? And I was tired. I watched it first way through and I forgot half of it as entire state, so I don't remember. I rewatched it again after watching a couple of other videos, including Morden Glory, who did a response video on this. And in their main video, they talk about what causes people not to play historical games, and they use bolt action as their main topic. Guy paints a Panzer, I believe, and his wife paints, I think it's his wife. Again, I'm tired. I forgot. Paints a... What? For some reason I want to think her name's Melissa. I don't know why. Marissa? I don't know why. Please forgive me for forgetting her name. They're never going to see this anyways. She paints a Sherman, I believe, or vice versa. But there's a Sherman and a Panzer IV. And they do a great painting job. So if you guys want to see a quick way to paint those things, if you're into them, would recommend it. But they go about how, in a scene, they talk about how no one wants to play historical games because you have to play bad mustache men.
It's all fun and games until someone has to be the Nazis to paint for the video, and she said, please don't make me paint the Nazis. And that got me thinking, isn't that really the main problem with historical wargaming.
They go on about more things, about how Warhammer 40k and things like that. So it's kind of like, okay, you're kind of joshing me here. You're kind of clickbaiting me, saying the game's failing because, bad people in history games. No one wants to play the villain and the racist, and everyone who kind of does are bad people.
Now, let me be really, really clear here. We're not accusing anyone of anything, we're both just genuinely curious as to why historical wargaming isn't as popular as the make-believe stuff we all love.
And you can kind of maybe get that at a quick glance if you're not paying attention, your hot blood and stuff like that. War and Glory kind of does this. There's another channel I watch where it's like the icon is like a tech priest, but it's got like human eyes and a mouth, giant human mouth, kind of like Angry Orange or Happy Orange, whatever that show was called way back in the day. But he kind of does a more in-depth, calm version of it. So War and Glory definitely goes the higher end, insanity, like ranty, while trying to be respective, clickbait videoing, while this other guy was the more calm collective, while being, slightly angry about a thing he was interested into, being attacked by somebody. Talking about that, so watch it. So we'll talk about the response videos on that end. So the response videos go off about how they're calling anyone who plays a historical game, a mustache man.
The whole bit where they were like, well, if someone wanted to play as one of those factions, what does that really say about them? I mean, we're not trying to tar everyone with the same brush, but maybe some people would take it too far. And it just felt really weird. I mean, this is the first video that they're doing on a new game system, and it's like they're already trying to gaslight the community. They're
calling you, bad people for wanting to play those factions, and maybe history games shouldn't have those. And there's a funny skit that I liked from one dude who was responding to it. He's just like, oh, well, if I can't play World War II games, I'll pick up Napoleonics. Oh, wait, Napoleon, bad, tosses. Oh, I'll play Roman games. Oh, wait, Romans, bad, going so on and so forth, throwing boxes. Again, it was satirical work, he understood. And so, yeah, so a lot of these people are overreacting, in my opinion, about this. And what I think personally is, and this is going to be the last part of this video here, what actually was meant and what can I kind of extrapolate, whatever the word is for it, about these videos. There's quite a bit actually. So yeah, as past me back there said, there is actually quite a bit you can get from this. Nothing too big. Again, it's overreacting to something that's not that big. You're not that pal guy. But what they were trying to explain, and I'll explain the video here as best I can remember it. But what the video was actually trying to explain was historical games do have a niche to them, and of course they're not going to be as big as Warhammer and stuff, because Warhammer is a fantasy sci-fi game where you can make it whatever you want. It's widely acceptable. It is the Apple of miniature gaming. And smaller games that might be really good and game-changing, pun intended, is gonna get pushed to the side, really. Like, Europe is definitely a lot larger, and even some parts of America is a lot larger in the historical side of things than where North America, or like Russia, sort of Eastern Europe, is more the fantasy / sci-fi setting, made up stuff.
There's also something really exciting about living out well-documented battles on the tabletop with moments of unbelievable heroism, bravery, and victory against all odds. Also, the rules, particularly for bolt action, are great.
So that's really, in my opinion, what really makes wargaming, historical wargaming, not that big. It's a boomer shooter where we all start in our kind of sort of 20s, 16s, playing D&D, going into games that are Warhammer-esque or video games because you don't have the cash. Your mid-20s to 30s, you're playing Warhammer, then the next edition comes out and you get really angry about it. And then your 30s to 40s is your old man, your boomer shooter, historical era. And I'm kind of now in that. I kind of skipped a few steps and I'm on my historical kick, historical arch. Anyways, So they were kind of trying to explain that more than what the other thing is. And again, they're a business, they're a YouTube channel, they needed to get clickbait, so they used what they used. But I think they also kind of have a bit of a point too, where somebody who's coming into, especially if you're brand new to a game, you want to, like, maybe you're a partner with somebody, or maybe you're a friend or a cousin, and you want to play with someone who's been playing, and you know them personally. They're not a bad person, or, you know, maybe they're quirky, but you know they're not an extremist of any sort of sense, or, you know, their views are not different to yours. You want to hang out with them, basically. And when you look at these games, and especially if you've done some history, you're kind of like, well, maybe I don't want to, because there could be tropes or, you know, titles attached to this that might lead people into thinking it. And they do kind of have a thought about that. And, you know, I could see that being maybe a small, maybe 2% part reason why. Because people want to. But I think they kind of overplayed that part. And again, another reason why I think this may have been taken wrong by people is the fact that there is cultural differences between viewers, whereas they're really strongly European. You can tell they are from Europe, some part over there in the like UK region. So their view on Germany and stuff and being spicy pinwheel holders are greatly different and viewed differently than, say, North Americans, where they might see those things differently. Even like the many countries in the European area, vastly different views on it. There's a lot of I thinks. So that I'm thinking that may have been another reason why they did the video the way they did. Overall in all, the video is not as bad as people are making it out to be. I don't think they were trying to push the whole, the reason it's bad, the reason why it doesn't work is because people are playing bad men and no one wants to be the there you go, self-brain censor. No one wants to be that guy. And I think actually that might not be the case. That's, I think, the last thing people think of, because there is a bunch of different historical games out there. But overall in all, through near the after, if they catch you in the first part, or if you leave off the video halfway through, if you stay and want to hear, they actually answer themselves pretty well. I was kind of ask myself questions through the video, like, now why do you say that? Why do you say this? Why do you say this? And they answered it. I think in the long run, it's actually a thoughtful video about people entering into historicals for their first time. And I believe they don't deserve as much flashback as they're getting. Again, this is a whole mini not essential, kind of like essential. What's that word? Anyways, you kind of get what I'm getting at. It's not that big of a deal, and they're not bad people. They could have phrased it slightly differently, but I think the main point they're getting at is, yeah, big brand sci-fi grimdark shooter is going to be way popular than historical game. The best way to explain it, one of my friends, they don't want to get in. They think the game is cool. They love how it plays. They don't want to get into it because they think trying to have everything kind of be perfect and historically accurate is a lot of work, which can be fair. But depending on your group, it can be just as silly. You can have Americans fighting against French. You can do conflict or alternate World War stuff, or even other game modes. Like, it can be as accessible and as fun as you want to make it. But I can definitely see why there is a sort of, stereotypical entry, like bar, like fence entry there. And I think as historical wargamers, we should, respect people's thoughts, answer it thoughtfully. There's probably bigger brain people out there who can write this out way better than I can, and not just do it randomly in their bedroom. People can do things, and I believe that they can, think this better. But anyways, with that, guys, I've rambled long enough. I hopefully got my point out there. I am having the hiccups. And I have one more video to do. It is really hot out, and my room is heating up, and my computer is not having a good time. So I hope you guys took this video, and if you made it this far, you deserve a cookie, my dude, and an award. Because, yeah, people don't make it this far. So if you did make it this far, thank you very much. Hopefully my rambling was not too much. I want to do videos where I can actually plan it ahead of time so I can get people in to join me and talk about things. But this is just how it is. I want to break it up because I've been doing a lot of unboxing and model reviews. Like, I got a bunch lined up. Like, I've made a bunch. I just need to prime the things and then talk about the rules at the end. So I kind of want to do this to kind of break it up. Hopefully here soon. Again, I'm doing them in batches, so I will have hopefully start working on that Pazio talk, the Pazio talk I've been working on. But yeah, so with that, guys, thank you very much. Go check out Midwinter, check out that video, have your own thoughts on it. I'll post some response videos down below so you guys can kind of watch the sources I was getting at and make your own mind thoughts on it. Probably have different thoughts than me, you know, what have you. But anyways, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Bye bye now. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye now. Click the video. Click it. Click the video. You know you want to. Click it.